Good news, everybody. The Soros empire is dying. From brilliant evil mastermind George Soros handing over his $25 billion empire off to his son, Alex Soros, who happens to be an idiot. The only reason he's at the WEF and able to discuss said material is because he's got $25 billion to his name. That would make Dr. Evil proud. I present to you his royal idiocy.
To actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe,
Wow, what an articulate guy. You're going to see more of this, I think.
In democracy and democratic institutions. And on the institutional part, I think that we can talk about institutions as these abstract things, but institutions are also about people. And
institutions are also about people. I'm going to hem and haw with tons of ums and try to come up with something profound. And I'm just going to let it out there, and people are going to say, uh-huh, and try to give me a gentle applause with their eyes and their mind, because I've got $25 billion.
We just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are custom.
Really? They're not written anywhere? They are literally written into the Constitution of the United States. That was the whole point of three branches of government, is the fact that they would provide for checks and balances. And none of them would be able to rampage over the other, even though Joe Biden is currently doing so. This man does not even know the basis of the US Constitution and what creates our republic as sound as it is.
And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away.
Donald Trump did not do so. He is not, to my knowledge, is he the one who decided to override the Supreme Court in terms of the eviction moratorium or on student debt and attempt to alleviate this, despite what the Supreme Court has stated? This is impeachable when you intentionally go and override SCOTUS. Was that Donald Trump? I just don't. Oh, wait a second. It was Joey Biden and the leftist Democrats that are pulling the puppet strings. So everything that this man is telling you is a fabrication combined with a complete lack of knowledge.
So, but when I see this, when I look at this, more globally regarding democracy, I also say to myself, when was this great time that everybody got along so well and things were going so great? I mean, I think
like in the 1990s and 2000s, before leftist Obama came in and racialized everything. That's only continued with the help of your father, who has basically attempted to destroy America and divide it based racially to keep the segments of the population fighting amongst one another, while you print money and distribute it to those closest to the money spigot, giving them the opportunity, as BlackRock has, to go out and buy all single-family homes, raising the prices with a near 0% interest loan, knowing that you're just going to print more of it, called the Cantillon effect. But anyways, I digress. Yes, America used to be much more cohesive with less racial prejudice back before the leftists took over. To answer your question, Alex, I
think that we really have to be careful here in this nostalgia. For a time past, because a lot of the reactions we're seeing in society are actually reactions to positive things. Like
positive things, are you talking about like more centralized power where they get to dictate that we must take a vaccine that doesn't even frickin' work? You're talking about that? You're talking about like stating that men must be allowed to compete in women's sports and change in little girls' locker rooms, 50-year-old men on the swim team identifying as such? Is that what you're referencing? I don't know. Maybe I'm strawmanning you, but I'm sure you do it. So,
like equality for women, and greater diversity, which
greater diversity. Greater diversity does not come with black backlash. I think many people welcome diversity of thought, different opinions. It comes with a backlash when you racially discriminate, which is what I stated earlier. Now, the good news is that George Soros Sr. was one who could recognize an arbitrage opportunity. For example, the district attorneys that he had inserted essentially by just giving them a small amount of money, and he was able to tilt the US society towards not enforcing any laws, towards disrupting the rule of law and turning America against each other, which I have to believe is Soros's mission and goal. And handing over this $25 billion, thank God, because there is absolutely no way that this moron, which I think that I've proven, which I think that you can all see, and I do believe that if you see somebody speak for a minute and a half, unless he's having a really awful day, like the worst day of his life, that this is representative of how he thinks. The fact that he doesn't even know that checks and balances are written into the US Constitution and tries to gaslight people into thinking that times weren't better before. It was only after we racialized everything and introduced forced diversity of skin color, which essentially just means no white people, reverse discrimination, which nobody should support. This is what the Soroses want. But the great news is that this guy's a moron. And the ability to replenish the funds of the $25 billion, okay, it's going to last for a while, but that is going to be siphoned off by scoundrels and various grifters and will no longer be replenished as Soros was able to do senior by recognizing arbitrage opportunities like shorting the English pound and the Bank of England, where he made his first few billion. So I think this is great news. Obviously, George Soros is handing over the reins nepotistically to an idiot. And I fully support this. Go, Alex Soros. I hope you waste your money and you continue to trip over all of the ums and your nos that you issue when you try to speak publicly, which frankly was pathetic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.